Shrek's Revenge. The horrifying ending of Nellie and Joel. Joel and Nellie had been friends since high school but hadn't seen each other in years. It had been a long time since either of them had ventured out from the safe confines of their own homes. That was, until Nellie decided that it was finally time for them to reconnect and take a much-needed break from work and home life. She decided that a trip to the nearby swamp was the perfect place for them to reconnect. They arrived at the swamp late in the evening and were greeted by a thick fog and the distant croak of frogs. Nellie had heard stories of the mythical creature that lived in the swamp, Shrek, the monstrous ogre. Joel was a bit skeptical of the stories but felt a strange sense of apprehension as they climbed out of the car. As they moved further into the swamp, they encountered an eerie silence. Nothing moved, as if time had stopped. All they could hear was the occasional croak of a frog in the distance. Then suddenly, they heard a loud thud that sent a chill down their spine. They immediately froze in their tracks, afraid of what the sound might mean. Nellie moved closer to Joel and he put his arm around her protectively. They stood in silence, listening intently for any further sound. Just then, a large figure emerged from the fog. It was Shrek, the ogre, standing at least 10 feet tall and very menacing in appearance. His eyes were glowing red and his scaly skin was covered in slime. He slowly approached the two and suddenly stopped. The two were too frightened to move. Shrek opened his mouth and let out a loud roar that shook the ground beneath their feet. Joel and Nellie were both paralyzed in fear. Nellie started to cry, her body trembling uncontrollably. Joel tried to protect her and pulled her closer to him. Shrek seemed to be amused by their fear and took a step closer to them. He waved his hands in the air and started to call out something in a strange language. Nellie had heard of this language before and knew that it was a curse meant to cause harm. Joel and Nellie both screamed and scrambled to get away from the terrifying creature. Shrek followed, laughing maniacally and waving his hands as they ran. They broke through a clearing in the forest and found their car. Joel and Nellie hopped in quickly and sped away, leaving the sinister creature behind. The two did not speak for the rest of the night, their minds still reeling from their terrifying experience. Even after they had returned home, the two were still haunted by the memory of what had happened. The following night, Joel and Nellie woke up to a loud thud coming from outside. Joel opened the curtains to find Shrek standing in their backyard, his glowing red eyes glaring in the darkness. Joel and Nellie were too scared to move, but they knew they had to get away if they wanted to survive. They quickly gathered their things and raced out of the house, but Shrek was right behind them. As they ran, Joel and Nellie could feel the evil presence pursuing them, determined to end their lives. Finally, the two managed to make it to safety, but not before Shrek had done his damage. Joel and Nellie had narrowly escaped with their lives, but it wasn't until the police had arrived that they realized what had happened. The two were shocked to find that the ogre had killed everyone who had been in the area at the time, including several of their friends. Shrek had retreated back into the swamp, never to be seen again. But Joel and Nellie knew that the memory of that horrible night would haunt them forever.
Ha 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 ha!